Hello, welcome back. This is Confessions from the Darkside, and this is Confessions from the Cranky Side. Yes, if you're not aware of what Confessions from the Cranky Side is, it is me, Darcy Darkness, one half of Confessions of the Dark Side, who's losing their shit over an article published about the many topics and genres that we talk about here in the Dark Side, whether it's horror, sci-fi, or fantasy. I will lose it and react to the articles that are being published about new releases, reboots, remakes, and pretty much everything that annoys us about the way horror is going and where it has been and where it was. So, another article came up today. Sleepy Hollow gets a fresh take. Hello and welcome back. I'm Darcy Darkness and this is Confessions from the Dark Side. How are you all in this wonderful community? Disclaimer, we are full of so much adult content that some of you may think this is unnecessary and some of you may think that this isn't needed. If you are one of those people, then thanks for checking us out, but I will say this only once. If you can't stand the heat, then get the fuck out of my kitchen. Now for everyone else who likes what we have here, then regular scheduled programming will continue. Shall we get started? Are we ready? What are we covering today? Well, another article has came out about another reboot, shock horror, between the amount of reboots that are happening and already in the works that I've made and already in post-production will be released in 2024. We have plenty coming out in the next few years. It seems that everybody's taking it upon themselves to reboot, rehash the same old BS and try and say it's a new modernisation. We're using a lot of words like helm about directors and writers that are sometimes usually still shit and they're literally trying to sway a new audience to come to the cinema and watch these movies and make them a blockbuster hit. Most horror movies are not blockbuster hits, but they do get good streaming, I think. Good streaming and, again, revenue when people are obviously buying Blu-rays and things like that or renting the movies and things. A new Sleepy Hollow movie in development at Paramount. And this article is by comingsoon.net. It was published yesterday. So, Pet Sematary Bloodlines director Lindsay Anderson Beer has a slate for films and a first look deal with Paramount. That includes her new Sleepy Hollow movie. Now, I've seen Pet Sematary Bloodlines. I was not fucking impressed. It was shit. But again, flogging a dead horse here with the fucking Pet Sematary remake, reboot, and then whatever they rehash. Having had success with Bloodlines, I don't know where the fuck she had success, but however. On the Paramount Plus streaming service, Paramount and Beer's Lab Brew production Banner have renewed a first look deal that contains a variety of genre flicks and a Mattel adaptation ready for production. But the most intriguing pick of the bunch is definitely Beers' Sleepy Hollow, a project which she is set to write, direct, and produce. At least we won't have a problem with too many cooks, but we could have a problem that the movie is shit. There is that. Beer has had this in the works for a couple of years, yet she has not written it. So apparently this has been in the works for a few years, but she hasn't written it, from what they're saying. Sleepy Hollow's recent history on the screen. The Sleepy Hollow story is best represented on the screen in Tim Burton's creepy Gothic 1999 horror of the same name starring Johnny Depp. Also had Christina Ricci and Christopher Walken. More recently, it's been turned into a television series with a modern spin now. The original TV series started off horror and fantasy, and then it ended up just getting into conspiracy theories about the American government and how America came to be type thing by involving Ichabod Crane and stuff. It was weird, but I did enjoy it. But it stopped being Sleepy Hollow like midway through, I think, season 3. After serving 2.5 centuries in purgatory, Ichabod Crane is mysteriously resurrected in the present day. He is joined by Detective Abby Mills, a modern-day cop. Together they solve crimes and battle supernatural forces in the town. Small town with Sleepy Hollow. That's a TV show. Here Comes the Dark, a supernatural thriller apparently by Shane and Carrie Van Dyke. Don't Worry, Darling, in Silence apparently. So Don't Worry, Darling was shit, absolutely hated it, so no. Optimize, a sci-fi thriller based on Beer's short story, with Beer attached to direct, write and produce. A feature inspired by the popular toy brand American Girl. Beer is attached to write and produce around Mattel Films in Temple Hill. And apparently Wilderness Reform is another kind of psychological type thriller type thing. It says based on a book from the same name. Wilderness Reform is about a boy sent to a remote reform program that holds a sinister secret. Well, yeah, it would. So in the comments, it's like, you lost me at Pet Sematary, Bloodlines director, couldn't get into it, which is exactly how I feel there. So is Hollywood just only going to do illegal? Is it going to do just approve remakes and sequels in video game movies now? They can't wonder why the industry has died. At least people like Seinfeld can admit it, that it has died. Good job, Hollywood. You killed your own industry. And again, we say that constantly. They have killed their own industry over and over. The Disney film is the best version. Yep, definitely. Is awesome. And again, it's spooky and nostalgic. Love it. Bloodlines is at 22%. That's hilarious. It's the same kind of comments that people like, hasn't she ruined enough? And they're just going to keep rebooting. That is the recent history that we have for Sleepy Hollow. I do love the movie with Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci and Christopher Walken. Again, very, very dark. It's Tim Burton. What do you expect? It was never going to be fluffy like rainbows and unicorns, even though rainbows and unicorns would work in a Tim Burton universe, because he did have his own way to spin it, and that's what we love about Tim Burton. So definitely not happy about Sleepy Hollow being remade. Again, I've said plenty before, reboots, remakes, rehashes, soft reboots, soft remakes, hard remake, etc. When will it end? This saturation of these unimaginative stories, because they've already been done. They're either making them for a society these days where people are not actually buying these movies or going to the cinema or actually coming out the cinema and being overjoyed and happy and just like, oh my god, that's actually really good. I wasn't expecting it to be really good. You know, that kind of feeling. And what the fuck did I just watch? I don't think we've had a what the fuck did I watch. Not even just in horror. I mean, for movies, it's been a really incredibly long time. You've got critics who obviously get paid to say nice things about movies, and then the bad reviews come out afterwards. Wouldn't it be better if you literally just told the truth the first time, rather than, just because it's a big blockbuster doesn't mean that it's going to be good, and just because it's an independent film doesn't mean that it's going to be shite either. We need more imaginations. We need people who have got a more expanded knowledge of fantasy and horror and sci-fi. Even just anyone who thinks outside the box and just wants to do things a wee bit differently. But they want to like combine the old type classics with modern day twists. They're not doing modern day twists. They're just taking the movies, putting new actors and saying they're modernising for the 21st century when they're not. They really aren't, especially when they're keeping the time frame as well. I don't like it when they mix time frames with, like they did in the Sleepy Hollow show, where they had Ichabod Crane and they had him kind of like the way he should be because he's an Englishman from hundreds of years ago, and he's got like the way he speaks and the way he acts, and I like how they incorporated into it, and then they try to modernise him by the end of the show, because obviously he had been in our world for a few years type thing. I like how they did that, but the kind of story get thinged off on a tangent, and then they started getting into other TV shows like Bones and stuff, which made no sense because it was like trying to make a fantasy out of Bones. It was weird. They just kind of went off on a tangent with that, which I didn't really like. The Sleepy Hollow movie and the Sleepy Hollow show, the only thing that they had in common was the fact that they had the headless horseman and Ichabod Crane. They kind of made it more supernatural for the original, for the TV show, and a non-believer basically. Someone who didn't believe in that and changing their mind about the supernatural world, and to look outside the box as well. They made her look outside the box and not be this on-off analytical kind of brain because she was a police officer. She worked for law enforcement, so they kind of did that. But in the Sleepy Horror movie with Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci, you seen in that time where the headless horseman was, and the lore and the story and why he kept doing what he was doing and how he was to be stopped. And it had like Johnny Depp playing so many of the roles that he's played in the Tim Burton world all at once, and his presence and how he executed his character and how he became Ichabod Crane. He was so good. Christina Ricci was amazing in that movie as well. They worked really, really well together, and I'd like to see them maybe in something else, maybe. You never know. and the future are both amazing actors and really, really good at what they do. And they make you believe in the characters that they become and they bring to life. And that's what I like about those actors. Christopher Walken, again, I've spoke about him multiple times today in the podcast that I've been doing, because he's an 81-year-old actor who, no matter what he's been in, he has a presence. He has an amazing presence. Like, if you hadn't seen the movie when he has the parts of the headless horseman, do you know what I mean? And then you see what he actually looks like with his true face. It's like such a wonderful array of characters, but he's got this like kind of seediness about him. Again, it's the cockiness that I get in the prophecy from him, and the way he becomes like an angel, like perching on things, and he becomes like the headless horseman as well, and his facial expressions, like you can see like this torment of the character coming out of him, and it's just wonderful to watch people like Christopher Walken actually do their job, do it successfully, unlike some of the actors that are out today that think they're basically just reading off a script. They're not putting any character or any personality or bringing them to life. They're doing nothing like that, and that's why people, one of the reasons that I feel like I'm underwhelmed when I'm watching something, that people are not taking their character and becoming their character, or becoming as much their character as can be to understand them so they can better play them. It's not just about actors being method actors. You want to believe that they are the character, and their story it's happening in front of your eyes is something that they are living through, and they are wanting you to believe, and you do believe them. Do I believe that this woman who's already made a shit show of Pet Sematary to redo Sleepy Hollow, do I think she'll be able to pull it off? Well, she fuck. I don't have much anticipation or the urge to go see her film, even if it is a remake of a classic movie and a classic concept. They need to walk away now. They are literally destroying everything. It's good and the supernatural part of horror. They need to walk the fuck away, and they need to stop this, and they need to just employ better writers, or just step out of your comfort zone just for a second and see how that might where that might fucking take you. Because rehashing all this shit is not going to do anything. And I get it, the kind of gothic type dark movies seem to be coming into fruition. Like you've got The Crow and Nosferatu and now Sleepy Hollow, and and you've got Abigail as well, and you have like things like Immaculate that have been out this year. Again, some of these things are not based on other stories. They actually have been written by other people, but they have a similar concept. So we want to have originality, but we also want something new. And it's not just like the new characters and the new actors that are coming up, because again, there could be someone literally walking about, an everyday person that's not like an actor or a celebrity, that would probably play these characters better and have more of an emotional response and emotional connection to the audience. It's crazy. There'll be somebody out there who can do a better job than most people today, because most people only give a fuck about the money, and they don't give a fuck about the story, or actually being the next Exorcist or being the next Kubrick or whatever. No one's really caring about that, or the next William Friedkin. How do you feel about Sleepy Hollow being remade? Do you think that the TV show killed it and they should just leave it? Do you believe that the only headless horseman we need is Christopher Walken? Let us know in the comments below. Are you enjoying these rants about articles and the next new reboot, or the next new thing to be disappointed in the movie theatre? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoy content like this, then you can go check us out on our social media platforms, which is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Buzzsprout. Let us know what you think of our social medias. Let's get chatting about this topic, all the topics. Let's grow our community and spread how awesome this community actually is. If you want to get to know us as individuals, then you can check us out in our links below. I am Darcy Darkness, and my channel is Behind the Mash Reviews, and I have a YouTube, an Instagram, a Twitch, and a Kick. Lunar is Lunar X Rising, and he also has a YouTube, a Twitch, and an Instagram. And if you want to reach out to us at any point to communicate with us, we do have email addresses. We have the one for the channel, which is Confessions from the Darkside, all lowercase, at gmail.com. I am Darcy, and my email address for my channel is behindthemashReviews@gmail.com. It's on screen right now with spelling, and Lunar has lunarxrising@gmail.com as well. And that was Confessions from the Cranky Side, brought to you by myself, Darcy Darkness, from one half of Confessions from the Dark Side. And that was Sleepy Hollow. and I'll see you in the next one. Later.